Hey, this is Berto from SlingPaint Gaming. I'm live. Yeah, we're actually testing out some software, so this is gonna be interesting. So you guys can definitely come online, chat with me. There's a little chat feature, ask questions, and you name it, and we'll have some fun and test a couple different things. I'm actually getting ready for a tournament tomorrow, a store tournament. I'm not sure what the format, but I think it's gonna be probably like a couple, like maybe like 4 rounds, 5 rounds ish. Maybe three. I'm not sure. Maybe 60 minutes each. I'm not. So it'll be definitely interesting. But definitely ask your questions. I'm going to be monitoring this and that. But I just wanted to go through my setup. Also, I just wanted to share this with you guys. So I just recently bought. I went to battlemarkers.com, and I'm going to show you these in a sec here. And when I went to there, battlemarkers.com has a whole bunch of, looks like Warhammer markers and what have you, but he also has several tokens that are just for actually for X-Wing. And I wanted to share this with you guys, and this was pretty cool. I shared it on our Facebook page, I think, the link to it all, and I think a lot of people liked it a lot. But I just wanted to show you. So here's the regular stress token that you normally see, right? And check this stress token out. Look at that. It's actually a lot bigger. It's like a button almost here. So you see the back, here's the front. They're about 1 inch in diameter, which is pretty nice. They're really light, which is cool, and they slide, but they're nice and bold. Here's an ion token that I got. Let me just take a step back there. That's an ion token. Check out this focus. This looks pretty cool. Yeah, I like the focus. That's cool. Here's a target locks. Let's see if I can pull those up. Target locks. That's number one. Target lock is the blue and the red. And I think I also got the evade ones. Yep, here's the evade tokens. But check it out. I mean, battlemarkers.com. I was talking to the guy back and forth. I purchased all these. I'm not no way affiliated with them. But these were, I thought they were really cool because I wanted something different than acrylic. And I stumbled on these, and I think these are just, like I said, these are just awesome. But they also have different types. This is actually the Imperial one. You can probably see the Imperial symbol on the point of the exclamation point there for the stress token. They have Imperial. There's also Rebel, and then there's also kind of like a Universal. So definitely check that out. That was pretty cool. I liked it because it was definitely it just stands out. It's different. Also, I'm not sure if you guys are gonna see this, but I started using these as my shield tokens because instead of carrying 14,000 million different shield tokens, especially playing large ships, Werewolf, one of our buddies, showed this. He was playing in a match, and I said, "Hey, what do you got, dice?" And he had the small dice. He had the little small blue dice that represent the shield color. But I liked what these were. These were pretty cool. I like this setup because then you can just switch it all around. So I'm definitely gonna be playing with these in tomorrow in the tournament. I do have the shield tokens just in case if they don't allow it for whatever reason. But it was great because I was playing with them the other night in the store match, and I would just use, let's say, if I had, I was using my baby blues, I put the 3 there. As soon as I take a shield away, it goes to the 2, then it goes to the 1, and I would just take the dice off to just get rid of it. So, but like I said, it's definitely different. It was pretty cool. Again, if you guys want, go to the chat feature. You guys can definitely ask some questions. I'm monitoring the chat while I'm going through this all. Also, I did finally pick up myself one of this. Is called the Army Painter. It's a target lock. So Army Painter is usually for Warhammer and games like that. But it's the laser beam the laser beam thing. And I used it finally. I always borrowed Nim's. Nim's, I think, got his from Harbor Freight, I believe, was for a couple bucks. This was actually $10. I picked it at the Abuku gaming store in North Carolina. I was just checking out the store, and they usually get together Monday nights, so I was swinging by there with the kids, saying hello, and picked this up finally. I actually used this the other night. I like this line. It's really straight. I know some people said it was curved, but I don't think it was curved. I think it was, like I said, it worked pretty good. I don't see a curve on this thing. But anyway, yeah, definitely, like I said, check out the dice thing. That was pretty cool. Also, Werewolf was using, for hole markers, he was using a different color dice. And he was using the small ones. These are just a lot bigger. But I do like he was using also a hole dice to count the hole down. I just use the regular damage cards. I mean, I just like the shield part of it. I mean, because instead of whipping out more tokens, and then the combination with the battle markers that I got, the new set of battle markers, it actually was a lot just easier to use, to see, and what have you. I also did pick up finally a pillbox. You can get these at your local store, pharmacy, CVS, or if you go into a food market, superstore, supermarket. Usually they have like the medicine aisle sections and that. You can definitely pick them on up. Actually, I like this because I sorted it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships. Then I have some extras over here, so it actually worked out pretty nice. But definitely check out battlemarkers.com for those tokens. They have a whole bunch of. They also have shields. If you didn't want to do the dice, they also have some other markers too. I was talking to him about like what was the latest things that we use, like a Palpatine coin or a C3PO coin. So he's going to look into that. But he doesn't. He actually sells. I think like if you want to get 5 evade tokens, he gets for it was like $4 I believe for 5 evade tokens, which is not that bad. I think my whole set between the target locks, I got a set of focus, set of ions, set of evades, and I think the target locks were maybe a little bit more expensive. I think it was like $32 total for the whole kit, and it was fast shipping. I got it relatively fast. It was actually pretty cool. And again, if you guys are watching live with me, leave it. You can definitely chat with me. Say some things in the comments, and I'll read them, and we can go from there. But like I said, I am getting ready for a game tomorrow, and so I'm getting all my stuff ready, all my tokens ready to go. Where is it here? Getting all my set ready. I'm probably going to run the baby blues. I know a lot of people hear a lot about my baby blues and why do I run them. One of the questions that I seen in our website, a lot of people are asking, why are you always constantly running the baby blues? I'm a big believer, and you're going to see a video coming out with Nims and I, that run a list, at least 10 times. Don't run 10 lists one time each. Some people say 20, some people say 30. I'm a big believer of actually allowing you to perfect that list. And I wanted to basically just take simple ships and fly, just learn to fly them. And I also wanted to learn to fly formations. Last night at the local store, I was allowed to bring my camera equipment, so I did actually capture some more matches. So you guys are going to start to see a lot more matches from us. Just local store matches, some new guy matches, like some new people were getting back into the game. Maybe some, we have some competition guys there too, so we have some recordings from there. I'm also going to try to see if I can I'll bring my equipment and see if I can record some of the tournament tomorrow as far as the matches as well. So that'd be pretty interesting. But yeah, it'd be definitely pretty cool. The other thing, some people were asking me what I usually take with me in my kits. These are on our resource guide. These are the actual ship maneuvers, and they are updated with the newest ships from Wave 8. This is Rebels, Imperials, and what have you. And here is Scum. I always take these. You're allowed to have these in tournaments because sometimes people pull out ships that you just don't know. Or if you just want to make sure that you're getting into the right corners and stuff. So I always carry these with me. Like I said, I'm probably get with my baby blues tomorrow. I'm debating if I want to run the small rocks. I usually run the large rocks. Let me show you which ones I typically run. I usually run the big guys. And you would think for a swarm you would want to run the small ones. I do that on purpose so I can create funnels with these. And what I mean by funnels is I can create an area of fire. If you ever take notice next time when you're actually playing a match, when you're seeing somebody play, or yourself when you're playing against them, watch where towards the end of the game where the battle's mostly being fought at. It's usually in the clear space, of course, where the debris not. So if you know where you're going to start your ships and what have you, place those rocks where you don't want the fight to be. Try to make the fight in a little bit wider of an area and a bigger gap, and I've seen it dozens of times. If I create an area within a certain section of the board, the 3x3 board that has no debris and rocks, and if I can get my opponent for some reason to put his rocks where, towards where my rocks are, you'll see that clear area, and know that. Keep that in the back of your mind, because most of the time that's probably where the fighting's going to be. So if you're closer to that area than your opponent, then you might want to slow up a little bit, right? So he can come into that mix, and you can set yourself up for whatever attacks and how he's going to come in and what have you. Or if you're creating lanes, like if you have debris, asteroids or debris up top and also on the bottom, and you have a clear lane in the middle, remember that the fight's probably going to be in that clear lane. So definitely figure out how you can maneuver your ships and position your ships. Do you want to go fast so you can get in better position? So if you want to do Talon rolls, K-turns, or Segnar loops or whatever, to get in position. And also think about that too when you place your rocks. Where do you think you're going to Talon roll if you're running ships that have Talon roll? Where do you think you're going to S loop, depending on where you think you have where ships are going to S loop? So keep that in the back of your mind. It's definitely, like I said, it's just different and interesting. I'm probably going to run either the large rocks again. I'm really used to large rocks, even though with my swarm, I like to create I want to make sure, especially for large ships, because I was mostly feared about the Jump Masters, the triple U-boat lists with torpedoes and what have you, and guidance ships and Deadeye. My biggest fear was that with my Baby Blue list, so I like to definitely give, if I have bigger rocks, I can potentially position it or block them to put them on a rock. Ken's got a question. Hey Berto, what type of camera do you use for game captures? Good question. I actually use a GoPro. So a GoPro, I actually have two GoPro Hero 4s, and I also have another camcorder that I usually for like interviews or stuff like that. But my GoPros is what we use for actually recording our normal live sessions. This right now where I'm recording is actually off my iPhone. There's an app for live broadcasts through an iPhone app. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. And again, I'm just testing it today to see how it works. And it looks like it's working pretty good. But I usually, for game captures, I actually bought on Amazon a mic boom that was basically, it was a 3 tripod mic boom on the bottom, a telescoping thing with an arm that came across, and I got the attachment that allowed me to attach a GoPro to the end of that mic boom. And the GoPro, the biggest problem with the GoPro is when everybody looks at it, it's like it's got the fisheye look, right? There's a setting in the GoPros that you can change to field. I think it's called field of vision. There's 3 settings. There's the normal setting, which is set to wide, which creates that fisheye look. But then there's also a narrow setting and a medium setting. We record our matches using the medium setting, and also make sure you have enough light. So just to make sure that's very important, enough light. I see Justin. Justin just said, "This guy." Yes, it is me. This guy. But as far as other equipment, we don't. When we're doing matches, or recording matches, we don't use. We just use the audio from the GoPro. We actually have one of those skeleton houses that records the audio. We tried to do it originally with like mic equipment and what have you, and it just didn't. It was just a pain in the butt to sync it because the videos are so long. So we just used regular GoPro audio. We put it in our software, add our intro and what have you, and we upload it. I mean, it's very simple. And if you guys are doing videos, let us know. Share the videos with us, and we'll definitely definitely put that we'll share your videos, put them on our website, because what our channel is all about is sharing content, sharing X-Wing, growing the community, trying to get new players playing into the game, showing both the competitive side and the fun side. I know there's a couple different other groups that mostly on the competitive side, and there's actually another group that just started, one of our good friends of ours, local area, that are more on the casual style of play. We're in the middle. We like to do a little bit of everything because it's fun. It's great. But yeah, for the GoPro skeleton housing, probably a regular standard GoPro. You don't need anything high tech. All have those settings in it. But just record with a GoPro. All right. Dave's asking, have you ever thought of switching your Baby Blues with 5 Cartel Marauders or 4 Marauders with hotshot blasters and munitions failsafe? I like that. The one problem that I have, I think I do have a list. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to share it on this live feed here, but let's definitely talk about it. Let's see. Let me log into my list builder. Logging in. Like 10,000 clicks to log in. Let's see here. Load squad. Actually, nope, not rebels. Not rebels. Scum, scum, scum. I think... Was it this one? Caraxi. I think it was called. I called it Caraxi Hell. I think it was like 4 cartel marauders, but then I was going back and forth, and I actually did have hotshot blasters with munitions failsafe, ironically. But for some reason, the way I worked out in the points wise, I said, you know what, I wanted to get a couple more ships, so I was looking at potentially throwing 2 M3A interceptors in it, so I had 5 ships running. Then like run the 3 Caraxis together. But the only problem that I have with the Caraxi fighters is the one shield. That drives me crazy. Um, and also I like the T-70s, and there's a reason for the T-70s I like. The T-70s I like is the Talon roll. A lot of people, when you think like, okay, they're gonna K-turn, right? No, with the Talon roll, it gives another option, so it makes me a little bit more unpredictable as far as what I can do and what I can and what can't do. Also allows me to wrap around a rock doing a 3 Talon roll and get myself positioned if the person was going around the rock the other way. But I did, believe me, I looked at the Caraxi fighter a lot. I so wanted to put the list together. I may still run it because after I do this regionals, I may switch to another list instead of the Baby Blues. I was looking at Caraxi fighters. I was actually looking at a new dog pound list, but I called it the Bloodhounds. Trying to basically take advantage of the large ships, and I wanted to basically use some intelligence agents off on it as well. So I'm thinking about that. But yes, I definitely did have a list for it. I never played it though, and because I think the biggest fear for me is that one shield. 4 hull is great, but one shield, it drives me crazy. Also, with the integrated astromech, and if I do an R2 astromech with the Baby Blues, that helps me with points wise. It allows me to get another shield, so or actually almost a crit blocker. I can choose what crit I want to block by using integrated astromech. That's kind of why I went towards the T-70s, and plus they're a little bit more maneuverable. But yes, I did think about it. Kenzen says, going to test out this Logitech camera tomorrow. Will you let you guys know how it works? Yeah, for video equipment, for video these games and stuff, the biggest thing is this. Light. Okay? I have a photography creative background. One of the things I learned real fast is the light. You definitely want to have light, otherwise it gets grainy. And the reason why film gets grainy is because the ISO, the automatic sensor that's built into the camera, wants to turn up the ISO. If you don't know if you remember back in the old film days when you had those little ISO things on the old film and it'd say what ISO readings, in order to get the picture, the sacrifice is the graininess. So that's the biggest thing with that. So just keep that in mind. More light. Like if you watch our hotel room brawl, you'll see it's a little bit grainy. It's because we didn't have enough light. When we play in the store or like in my studio here, I have 3 studio lights. I got one here, and one in the middle. But I'm actually, because I'm doing it just solo, I shut the middle one off. But when we're running matches, I turn all 3 of them on, so it's really, really bright. But if that helps. But yeah, any camera, as long as it's 1080p, try to get the high def when you're recording and definitely uploading it. 720 will work if you get enough light. Just keep that in mind. Also think about a polarized lens. Like I'm actually going to start investing in some polarized lens to get the glare off the dice so you can see what the dice are. Keep that in mind too. Alright, that was Kenzen. Jez82, X-Wing's an awesome game and your videos are great. Do you guys also play Star Wars Armada as well? I know I do not play Star Wars Armada, but every time I go into the hobby store, I see that box and I want to play it. I don't know why I went towards the whole X-Wing. I think because there was a bunch of guys playing it, and there was like 1 or 2 guys playing Armada, and I never saw them again. But it did rekindle when I went to the Steel Open 2016. And again, check Steel Open out. SteelOpen.com is the website. The guys over at Nova Squadron put a phenomenal event. Aaron, who runs the event, had a lot of help from the Nova Squad crew. I mean, it was an awesome event. They actually had an Armada tournament. It was actually on Friday. And they actually had a good showing. It was actually a decent showing. It was really good. but I have not gotten into Armada. I want to buy it just to buy it. So I'm actually every so often I look on eBay to see what people are getting rid of their Armada sets and just buying something used. So, but we might be doing some Armada. All right, let me see here. We got Joe's Nims is busted. He's texting me while I'm doing my recordings here. Let me see what he's saying here. Just so does this work? Yes, I am live on now. Answering questions. That's Nims. He's texting me. All right, so let's see here. Spencer, I need a life and friends who play more. You know what you should do? Try Vassal. Okay, go to our website, hover over X-Wing, and on the bottom you'll see when it shows the menu, it says the resource guide. In the resource guide, there's a whole bunch of tools in that, but there's also like some online play. Check out Vassal, Vassel. It gives you the setup, shows you how to play. It is a little bit of a learning curve to get it set up and working. When I first installed it, I thought it wasn't working, but there are some tutorial videos that are online that if you say how to play Vassal, it will show you. I've not played Vassal yet, but you can probably do that. There's actually leagues too. There's Vassal leagues. A lot of the Nova Squadron guys also play on Vassal, and there's some Vassal leagues. So definitely check out Vassal, Spencer. If you don't have people that's playing locally the actual game, look at Vassal. Have you played competitively otherwise against Dash Karanlis? Yes. Not in tournaments, but I definitely in like store play when we were testing our lists and this and that. There was a couple guys that ran Dash and Karan. They're nasty. Dash, if you're running HLC on Dash, that is a brutal ship. The biggest thing is like a buzzard. You got to fly on the outside. So keep that in mind when you're flying Dash, when you see Dash. Also, watch out for that barrel roll. That barrel roll is just like the Jump Master, is brutal. But the Dash with HLC is pretty nasty. I've seen that set up. Let's see here. Kenzen, also thanks for reviewing my Han list the other day. No problem. And guys, just so you know, you guys are phenomenal. You guys are sending in so many great lists. I love it. We have a huge backlog of lists today. Nims and I were actually sitting at lunch, and because we work together, and one of the things we were talking about is like, all right, how the hell are we going to go through all these lists? I mean, we have, I think, almost over 180 lists. Like if we did one list video per day, that's 6 months worth of lists. So we want to try to accommodate you. What we're thinking about doing is doing like a crash course on all these lists, but we don't want to sacrifice quality. We want to make sure we go through the list, give our feedback and information, and also allow other people to give feedback. Reason why we do the list is not just for us to review it, but also for everybody else who either has played the list or played against the list. They can give their comments and feedback and leave in the comments. The whole biggest thing is about the community, again, making us grow. All right. History Buff says Armada is tempting as well, but I prefer X-Wing. I like the dogfighting aspect. I think that's what I like too as well. There's a lot of strategy to it, but what's want me to go towards Armada is definitely I like controlling the fleet. That's why I saw Rebellion. And I'm really interested in Rebellion, but I have to watch the video on how FFG Fantasy Flights just released a video on how to play Rebellion. So I had the game. We trying to play with my family the other day. I think it was for Mother's Day. I was talking to my brother about it and my sister, and like, all right, let's play the game. It was just we were trying to set it up and get it running. We couldn't figure it out, and then like an hour passes by, and we're still trying on the first round. We're like, all right, you know what? Let me figure out the rules and what have you. We went and did something else. Kenzen Cruz says Tabletop Simulator on Steam has mods with all the information on it. It isn't as hard as Vassal, but Vassal has better and bigger community. I definitely do agree with you. You know what? I should be putting that tabletop. Let me make a note to myself to put table. Where's my? Actually, I'll just do it on my computer notepad here. Let me do that. Make a little note. I forgot about the Tabletop Simulator on Steam. Simulator on Steam. I'll see if I can find it. Make sure I'll add the links to our resource guide. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Eric, looking to use some 35-point lists, 1 to 2 ships to intro the game. Have you any suggestions for newbies? All right. This question, I think I answered in another video before. There was a guy. If you go to our playlists within our channel, there is X-Wing Flight School and Strategy and Tips, but mostly the X-Wing Flight School. One of the videos is where to start. Because everybody, like I have my brother-in-law, he's starting into the game too, and he's playing with the intro set, he's playing with the new Force Awakens set, T70 and have you, and he's been whatchamacallit, he's like I don't know what the ships to get next, this and that. 35-point ships. I just posted the video today, actually about an hour ago, about tag team furball, which is a different play type than the 100-point tournament list. It was actually a cool, fun game. I actually have the actual game itself. It's actually uploading as we speak. It's almost halfway done. It was like 20 gigs. It was huge. It was 2 hours long. It's an awesome game. But to answer your question about what ships, T70s. I mean, the T70s, the new T70s are great for, I think, for entry level. Even the original X-Wings, and I like them because they're durable. They're not going to get smacked off the board in 2 seconds. They also have a lot of maneuvers, and they're fun. They got the boost. They got target lock and focus, so it intros them into actions and what have you. But if you want to do a 35-point, 2 ships, do Poe Dameron with R5P9, and then potentially use Poe Dameron's, I think it was like 31, 32 points. R5P9 is a couple points. Maybe fit integrated astromech on there as well, just to get 30-something points, whatever, with Poe Dameron. If you want, do another Elo Asti, another T70. If you want, from an Imperial side, use an Inquisitor. Right, Inquisitor is pretty cool with the double actions. That will also introduce them to pilot abilities and actions and stuff. With a Valen Rooter, I mean, 2 similar ships, and outfit them very, auto thrusters so they can learn arc dodging. The key concepts I think when I'm teaching anybody is let them know about the different types of ships. Like you have the turreted ships, you have the heavy jousting ships, you have the arc dodgers, right, and then you have what's the other one? Swarms, right? Show them those different functions on how to fly. Teach them about how to fly first. I think a lot of people are always trying to get into like, oh, I'm going to run aces, I'm going to run Poe, and I'm going to run this guy and run that guy. I'm going to run, or if they're running Imperial, I'm going to run Suntil Fel, Vader, Inquisitor, right? And then because they're running 3 different ships and they're trying to maneuver and trying to figure it all out, they get frustrated when they get wiped off the board, but they see somebody else running the same list and they're winning. So that's another reason why I run the T70s. I just try to keep it real simple. I wanted to not learn to fly. I've been playing the game for almost over a year now. Really love the game. Really invested in this game. I have pretty much almost every ship, if not a couple duplicates there 10 times over. Shh, don't tell the wife. But and I learned tournaments and I watch people play and I watch strategy. I'm a big strategy and tactics guy. And that's where Nims and I come from. We actually come from SlingPaint, the original SlingPaint, which was a paintball team. We used to paintball company. We used to publish information about paintballs. So that's where SlingPaint comes from. So I'm very big into strategy. So definitely try to keep the things simple with the 35-point ships. Don't try not, keep it everything, even like the jump masters, right? Throw some jump masters or some hounds. Like if they want to start introduction with large ships, throw 1 or 2 of them together. A 60-point list, 70-point list. I mean, keep it simple, 2 ships, or even don't even do that. Do 3 ships naked. Maybe keep them novice squadron pilots or some kind of like green squadron pilots if you're doing A wings, or gold squadron pilots for Y wings. Or the Academy pilots or TIE fighters. Take out the abilities and stuff and keep it just let them learn how to fly the ships around the board, around the rocks. That, I think, to me is the biggest thing. All right. I see Nims, he's saying, where is that sexy co-star of yours? Yeah, where are you? Nah, I'm joking. I was doing this as a test also to see how this whole live thing works, and we were talking about it today at lunch. So Nims is in the comments there. The sexy co-star. Yes, I'm the brains and he's the sexy one. Let's see here. Mike says, Mike P, what are your thoughts on flying the Imperial Carrier? Is this any video matches you have done flying one? No, we do not have any videos matched flying one. I've seen some other people play it. We were playing. We had that one match tournament that we had. It was Epic Furball. And there's some videos related to that on Epic Furball under game types on the playlist game types. That was there's some people playing carriers, but I don't have any videos per se with carriers. If you're playing epic type ships, I think the biggest thing with carriers, like because we were going back and forth which epic ship we wanted to have in our list, and I looked at the carrier, but the problem with it is it's like to me it's like it's a what do you call an army, assault carriers or something like that, where you're holding troops inside. To me, it's just going into battle, dropping your troops behind enemy lines as fast as it can, and let your enemy, your ships, other ships, the actual ships you're dropping, do the work. So, to me, that's the play style for that ship. It's about blasting through the enemy play lines, dropping your troops, letting them do the work, and you're probably not going to survive. So keep the points low. That's my take on it, but I never played it. I'll be honest with you, I never played it. Spencer says, I have a Dash Coran list, made it, simulated, just wanted your opinion. I don't see it on here. You got it? If you send Spencer, you can see if you can add it to the comments. I appreciate it. All right, Dave, you and Nim should play a troll match. Ooh, what's a troll match? You make a full 100.3 ship build for your opponent. Oh, that's awesome. So no pointless upgrade cards. That's interesting. I like that. We should do a video on that. Is there any Dave? Is there any official rules or any write-ups on that? Because send it to me or Facebook it to me or add it to the comments here so I can add, so we can look into that. So what I'm gathering out of that troll match is we're picking each other's lists to play. If that's the case, that's going to be pretty cool. All right, Vulcan says, with your formation flying, have you taken a look at military dogfighting strategies? They translate surprisingly well to X-Wing. Okay, I like the way you think because yes, I have. One of the biggest things I really enjoy, even before I got the Star Wars and what have you, one of the biggest things I enjoy is military, World War II history. I'm big into that. I'm big into World War II type movies, games, simulated games with World War II. And I'm also big into the aviation. One of my biggest things, my P-42 Warhawk is one of my favorite Allied World War II planes. Especially when it was helping out in the whole Chinese Japan arena. A lot of the dogfighting strategies, I agree with you 100%. They do apply, and I know exactly what you're talking about. So if anybody does any strategies or looks them up on how people dogfight, when you have your wingman, if you're all sets formation, how you come back around or that's why I like the T-70s too, because of that Talon roll. It's not just doing a straight K turn and coming back the other way. The Talon roll almost introduces that whole dogfighting concept. Even the S loop. Like I'm actually looking at a list. I'm trying to build a list with the Star Vipers because it's got the S loop into it. That when you let the dogfighting go off to the side, that introduces a whole bunch of combinations, and yes, it ties to the military. It ties to how different styles of dogfighting. I'm so glad you brought that up. Absolutely. Justin says, yeah, I sent you all a couple myself. Yes, I've seen your name. We definitely have them. Again, just know that we have a huge backlog. But like I said today, Nims and I spoke. We're going through that. We're definitely try to figure out how to go through them faster. Kenton says it's also on sale at Humble Bundle. Star Wars Armada. Nice. I'll have to check that out. Actually, put a note to myself here. Nims, he says, where's your sexy co-star? He's so sexy. Nim says he's got to run. ASOT Demanda. Hey, Berto, I was reading the article on FFG about flying 4 Green Squadron A-Wings, all of them with PTL and wingmen. Hull upgrade or order thrusters, your choice, starting into the test pilot. I like A-Wings. I don't know if you saw the video that I think we were doing on the whole Merrick's Marauders that I just released today. I used an A-wing, Green Squadron pilot, and I don't know what I was thinking. I put engine modification on an A-wing. I thought it had barrel roll and not boost because I don't play with A-wings a lot. So I was, and literally had like 10 minutes before the game started, because Nims is like, just come on and play. And I had to put that together. The long and short of it all is I had a double boost, but of course I couldn't do it. So I had 3 wasted points basically. I liked the only thing with the Green Squadron A wings, I think it's a 2 hull and 2 shields. Let me pull that up. Prototype Green Squadron. Yeah, 2 hull, 2 shields. It is great for defensive, especially if you're running auto thrusters. It's going to help you out from a defensive perspective. It's got the evade action, which is nice. The only thing, though, is because this ship is meant to me, and again, this is my opinion, is meant to be an arc dodger, okay? But having a low pilot skill value, to me, it's difficult. And also, only having 2 attack dice, you need to be in range 1 to sling some dice. Especially, I mean, it's great probably for large ships, like if you're flying a swarm against like a hound or something. It's great for that thing, or decimator that has low agility, where it just, 2 dice is just going to work just as well as 3 dice, because, it's just going to throw a lot of dice. But just keep that in mind. Also flying it, taking advantage of the barrel roll that it, the boost that it has, and trying to figure that out. But because it doesn't have a native boost on it, I mean, even putting Hulk upgrade, Hull upgrade is going to beef it up a little bit. That's going to put it at a total 5 hit points, including 2 shields. Like I said, to me, I'd probably just start flying it, but be careful, especially when hard-hitting ships like the Decimator or the new Ghost. Even though the Ghost has 0 agility, yeah, you probably can take it down with a lot of A-wings, but if he gets you range 1, 5 dice, just forget about it. That's a lot of dice slinging at an A-wing. Eric says 3 TIE Swarm at 36 points for 1 guy, or too much for a noob. 3 TIE Swarm. No, run it. Let them practice a formation. Try the offset, maybe 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and the middle. Offset formation. Make sure the back one is even with one of the sides of the 2 outside ships. So if it's like 2 ships here, 1 here, this side of the back ship lines up with this side of the back ship. So when you're doing, and that's on the right side. If it's on the other side, make sure it's lined up the other way. I have an offset formation video. Look at our strategy playlist. There's a playlist on our channel that has a strategy, and there's definitely shows you how the offset formation. TIE Swarms are great. I still see people flying TIE Swarms. If you can do them running with Howl Runner and this and that, if you get more advanced, but for a new guy running 3 ties at 36 points total just for playing around, let them try it, because allow them to make mistakes, allow them fly in unison together. I think that's great. Wingman lets you remove stress from a friendly ship at start of combat range 1, so you can fly formation and always use PTL. I like that. Yes, that's right. I forgot about Wingman's ability. Mike says, thank you, sir. Mike says, also, I so agree. I see it as a sacrifice ship with the whole, the carrier. That's my point. It's like, if you're playing epic battles, especially when you're running large ships, and especially paying the points for them, you want something that's hit. I was playing Nims with the Raider. That thing's brutal. With the double tap, especially if you run that title card, I think the title card that gives you the double tap, brutal. Dave says, it's just something me and my friends like to play and keep the game fresh. I hear you. That's what we do. We like playing some different game types. That's why we do both competitive and also regular casual play, because we like both. We love these ships. We love Star Wars. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And we get to feel like we're the pilots of Star Wars. Like, every time I see the Episode 4, the Trench Run, I always, like, I usually have to play on Thursdays. I call it Trench Run Thursdays. I have to play. There's a YouTube video where I have to watch the trench run, and when they're all sitting there about to go, and they're all seeing the Death Star, right, and also they just curve in and they just fly, I get goosebumps every time I see that, and that's why I love playing this game, because I feel that, especially when I'm running my T-70s, I get more cinematic, and I do a lot of pew-pew noises and stuff. Let's see. Sorry I didn't clarify. Spencer says, I didn't clarify. I have one. I have never submitted it. Just wanted your thoughts on Dash Command list in general. If you want my OPL, yeah, put it on the OPL, submit it. Go into our, you'll see in our nav bar on our website, it says submit, and then I think it's like the top choice, the listinator. Submit it there, we'll get it. Dash Coran, like going back to originally, it's a great build. It's just keep flying it. If you guys take any of my advice for anything, fly the same list. If the list makes sense and it works together, know your strengths and your weaknesses for each ship. Understand them, and also understand what your strengths and weaknesses for your opponent's ships. Get as much flying time as you can, and then use your ships, play with them at least 10, 20 times with that same list. Try different setups, see what setups work for different, like I line up my ships differently depending on who I'm facing. If I'm facing large ships, and also on how asteroid and debris fields are lined up, I might line up my ships in different ways. So keep that in mind. That's huge. But Dash and Cran, I always say any 100-point list that makes sense and then doesn't have too many handshakes should be somewhat competitive. I know the meta in different areas, like when we went to Steel Open, we saw a lot of Desi Ace list. Desi Whisper, Desi Fell, Desi Rexler Brat, whatever the Desi combo was, mostly Desi Inquisitor too. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Just like know what the meta is in your area, who you're playing, and see if you can build a list towards that meta. It's like Pokemon. If you ever played Pokemon or any other Magic the Gathering, different tournaments have different meta. And when meta comes out, when new cards come out, it changes the meta. Like when the U-boats came out or the Jump Masters, everybody was flying triple U-boats. But everybody was quickly seeing the weaknesses of triple U-boats and exposing it. So keep that in the back of your mind. All right. Kenson says Gemmer is amazing for that kind of stuff. Yep. Dan, I'm glad you guys are doing some live stuff. Great stuff. Really enjoy your channel. Thanks, Dan. This is our first attempt doing live. Hopefully, we'll do some more live events. It'd probably be solo, or maybe if I can get Nims hooked up with his phone and technology and stuff, we can do multiple live events or simultaneously live events. That'd be really weird. That'd be cool. We just like talking about this stuff, and this is what we feel. We just want to have fun. We're also competitive too, so we do get serious when we're playing our games. Like we joke a lot and we have fun because at the end of the day, it is a game. We're moving tiny spaceships around a board. It's a game, right? But we also want to win. We also like to win. When we don't win, we try to figure out and analyze what we did wrong. That's why I like doing those battle reports, because if it helps you guys on our mistakes, it allows you to see what we're seeing. And when you do face it, you say, you know what? Oh, I remember that. I might do this or something to that effect. And again, that's what this is all about. It's just sharing and caring and all that fun stuff. All right. Felix says, "Do you guys play much on Vassal? I wanted to, but the learning curve seems a bit much for me." I agree with you. I've never played on Vassal. I've attempted to play on Vassal probably like 42 times. None of those times have ever worked out for me. But then was it last week? I just saw a video series. Let me see if I can find the video series while I am doing my live channel here. I can post it up in the comments. Let's do that. Oh, totally forgot that I can do that in the comments. Vassal. Here it is. Copying the link. Let me go here. Vassal video. Yeah, I can spell. Vassal video getting started. Now, this video is a little bit old, so some of the things have changed, but you kind of get the gist of it. The biggest thing that I noticed, which I did not know, is you kind of need like a chat channel, something else, or either phone call or something where you can talk to the person. Because all Vassal is, it's nothing really automated. There's some automated things that you can do, and there's some tricks. A lot of it's keyboard shortcuts that I was seeing and was watching these videos. Let me change the video. Here's the video. That's the video to Vassal getting started. I just posted up on our chat channel, so you'll see it from SlingPaint. The Vassal video is all about, or I said Vassal itself is all about you communicating on Skype or something, and if you're playing somebody else, you give them your Skype channel and you guys play, and it's communication. And the best part about it, there is ways it shows you on how you can't cheat, because everything is logged. So when you do a maneuver, or if you flip your maneuver dial, or you move this, or you change your maneuver dial, or whatever the case may be, even though the other opponent can't see it, it will let the opponent know what you're doing. So it's they really thought it out on how everything works. Let's see here. Jonathan, question: what is your preference on the following? Vader, Soontir, and Palpatine shuttle, or replace the shuttle with the Inquisitor? All right. So Vader, Soontir, that is your standard Palpinaces. Or Palpinaces with Soontir, the Palp shuttle with Soontir and Inquisitor instead of Vader. Because you get that whole, if you do the toggle lock, you get that whole evade action. That helps out a lot. But you can do the same thing potentially with Vader. But your Palpin Aces list, that takes a lot of practice, and you have to get Nim said it best today, because we were talking about what list he's going to be doing at the regionals. There's a regionals in Durham, North Carolina, where we'll be going to, I think, in 2 weeks. I think it's the 21st, I believe, or 22nd. He was saying what he was talking about. I mean, how come you're not running your Palpin Aces? He's running a different list that he's been practicing, and you'll see some videos that he was first time practicing yesterday with, he said, he goes, Palpinace is great, but you have to have your A game on all the time. Like, you can't make a mistake with Palpinaces because, one, they're so frail. You barrel roll the wrong way, you boost the wrong way, you pick the wrong maneuver, whatever the case may be, jump masters or anything you're facing, even my list will eat it up alive. And he's right. So if you go with now, I wouldn't probably replace the shuttle. A lot of people like to have that palp feature where once per round you're choosing that. Where I see a lot of mistakes with the shuttle is you're not using your shuttle. You're keeping your shuttle in the background and you're doing slow maneuvers, and then maybe at the right moment you turn your shuttle in to go throw some dice out. If you're running the Inquisitor, Vader, and Soontir, the 3 aces by themselves, you're going to need a lot of room to maneuver, to get in and out, wrap around asteroids, so run small rocks. Just keep in mind they're brittle. Okay, you make a mistake, it's probably going to go down. You plant yourself on a rock, it's probably going to go down. That's one of the biggest things I've always said is if I can catch Soontir with his pants down, like if they make a mistake, I can capitalize on it and I can make it happen and work for me. So like my biggest list, because I usually run a lower pilot skill value pilots versus aces, and I've beat aces before. They also beat me before. I mean, it's not doable. But I for my list, I have to wait for those aces to make a mistake, or I have to be able to predict and block them. And then that mistake happens, they lose all their actions, and my ships open fire. So that's the only challenge. So if you're running 3 aces, keep that in the back of your mind. You're going to have to be doing a lot of maneuvering inside and out. Palp Shuttle, it just gives you an ability to change the dice once per round because of Palpatine. A lot of people like that. And I've seen it works very well. If you like rolling arc dodges and you like mixing it up, run all 3. Run the Inquisitor, Soontir, and Vader. But if you want a little extra cushion to help you out in your dice just in case, especially with Vader, because even if you have ATC, but ATC requires you have to have a target lock, maybe Vader. Yeah, I'm going back and forth on Vader. I've always seen Vader being replaced now with the Inquisitor. But then again, practice. Keep running the list. Keep playing a bunch of other people and other types of ships. When you see another person, like you go to a store and you see another person running a different list that you haven't played yet, play it against that list. Run your list. If he beats you or you beat him, play it again. Do the same guy twice. And just get as much practice as you in, because aces require a lot of practice. Also, sit with yourself moving ships around. Figure out how to wrap around rocks. Know that you want to keep Inquisitor range 3 because he's have his ability. Soontir Phil, he's going to do the typical arc dodge. Make sure you get that push to limit so you can get that stress, which gives you the extra focus. Again, keep this all in mind. Know what their abilities are and weaknesses. I hope that helped. All right, Ryan, Bosk with Mengler Cannon, K4 Security Jog, Full Arm, and Zuckus is nasty. Yes, and Nims actually runs a very, very similar Boss setup. He used to run Bosk, Mangler Cannon, K4 Droid. 4-Alarm and Zuckuss wasn't out yet, but he just switched. He went back to Bosk. I don't think he has Mangler Cannon on him. I think he's running K4 Droid, 4-Alarm, and I don't think Zuckuss. But yes, that setup is a very nasty. I love a Hound action. The only thing, though, is if I catch the Hound with the pants down and I can send my swarm in, I'm focus firing the heck out of that ship. But yes, it's a nasty setup, especially with 4-Alarm's ability. The only problem is with 4-Alarm, you have to time it just right. So, because if you do get ionized after the second ion token goes down, make sure you're not positioned by the edge of the board so you're going off of it. But yes, I agree with you. It's a nice list. Let's see here. Jonathan says all ships with standard loadout. Yeah, to answer your question, yes. What we were talking about with your Palpin Aces, absolutely. Like I said, either way, if you like, just keep in mind that Space Cow is going to be, the shuttle is just going to be just sitting there. I mean, you can curve it in to do some action, but don't curve it in too fast because I'm taking out Palp as soon as... I think it's my third or fourth battle report. You'll see with the shuttle on it. I played Palpin Aces, and he made that mistake. He came right down the middle of the board. I had my Baby Blues on the side, and I'm like, I hope he's not doing what I think he's going to do. And he did. I played it. I took out Palp, I think it was in the second or third round, instantly. Third round, because I had to come up 1-4, boosted one over, did a 2 over, and I just lit up that shuttle like it wasn't even standing there. So he lost his Palp right off the bat. So you're not playing with that shuttle. But if you want a third ship and you want to throw the Inquisitor instead of the shuttle, go for it. But keep practicing. Aces require a lot of practice. Kenzen, hardest thing with Vassal is the setup, but once you get through it, it's very usable. I agree with you. I'm still trying to get through the setup part. And use real dice. When I use the dice of Vassal, I get screwed. Then I don't want to play Vassal at all. If that's the case, I get screwed both with my regular dice and I'm going to get screwed with Vassal dice. That's awesome. Best source for single card sales. If you're talking about pilots and upgrade cards, probably eBay. I go to eBay all the time. There's a couple guys on eBay that have they show like a blue, all blue background, all red background image, and it's got a bunch of upgrade cards, like the bomb upgrade cards or the elite upgrade cards, and you can pick and choose with your list. They're relatively inexpensive. I mean, depending on the card. And I buy them all the time. I buy upgrade cards all the time. I also, if I see on eBay a list or a set that's being sold together, I might pick it up for cheap. Again, just to have extra cards. I like having extra cards. I like sometimes usually going to a tournament having extra cards and ships just in case, because you never know when you're shuffling your cards around and ships around, you lose a card and then you get screwed. eBay is probably the best way. Do X-Wing miniatures game or X-Wing miniatures, X-Wing hyphen, I think, and you'll see all the listings. There's a couple of things. Actually, here, let me see if I can. I think I have a save listing real fast. Let's do this. X-Wing miniatures, upgrade. And they also sell pilot cards on there too, but there's a couple guys. Yeah, if you do, I did X-Wing space miniatures space upgrade. I mean, you see all the cards that are on there, and then there's a couple guys that. Let me see. I'll just send you. Let me paste the link in the thing here. Live. eBay upgrade. Whoop, what happened? eBay upgrade cards. I don't know if that link will work, but let me know if it doesn't. It should work. Alright, let's see. Best server. Okay, Voice of the Force. Hey, what's up? Just got the live stream. Just got here. Love the live stream. Yeah, we do too. I think this is actually working I like this. Maybe I'll do it every Friday night if you guys are okay with Friday night. Because I'm married and I have kids. My Friday nights, what they used to be and what they are now, are totally different. That means I'm usually home. My kids are sleeping right now. It's late. I might do some late out, some commentary. All right. Yeah, Spencer says, yes, single card sales, good idea. A lot of people make some money. There's a guy over here that's in a local shop. He buys and sells, ships cards, upgrade cards, this and that. He basically buys cards to make a list. He trades and then he sells what he doesn't want, or if he buys brand new ships and then sells off the other stuff. He actually makes some good money and pays for his hobby. And I know sometimes pays for like some of the events that he goes to and stuff. But but it's like supply and demand, because sometimes like all of a sudden C3PO, you're spending $80 for one card for C3PO. I mean, I'm exaggerating, it's $80, but I seen it go high as $50, $40. But then all of a sudden, the Millennium Falcon's not in, and you're stuck with five TNT4 setups because you can't get rid of your CP3PO. But yes, I've seen people, but it's just like anything else. But I've seen people being very successful at selling cards. Jonathan, thanks for the advice. Love your channel. Always use it as a reference and keep telling my friends to follow. I appreciate that. We really appreciate that. Again, it's all about trying to grow the community, and just have fun. I mean, we do competitive. We love it, and we also casual. If anything I say helps you guys, and vice versa, we learn from you guys too. Do know that we do learn from you guys. When you guys comment, we're always looking at comments, and when you guys are sending the bills, we're like, "Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, that's a good idea." Oh, so it's we're learning as much as we're also showing and teaching, I guess. So it's mutual. Just know that we learn a lot from you guys. All right, Voice of the Force questions. So I've seen a lot of debate on the gunk card and whether or not you can use experimental interface to both actions in the same round. What do you think? I was going back and forth on the whole gunk card, okay? I keep on hearing about some kind of magical email from some kind of employee that either worked at Fantasy Flight Games, used to work at Fantasy Flight Games. Every time I hear the story, it changes. The TO of the tournament, so the tournament organizer, whatever they set up or do, whatever the case, for what I understand, the whole gunk thing is you can't use it twice in one turn. It's considered one. It's considered one card and it's one action. Even though, and this is where my mind is, if it was one card or one action, it would say action once. But because it says action twice, to me, it's almost like two actions. That's what threw me off. So I agree with you. I originally, when I was on their thing, I'm like, well, okay, it doesn't say like action once. Like, it doesn't say either you put a shield on this card or put a shield on your ship as your action. It says it's two separate actions. But the official word, what I'm hearing, there's nothing official, but I guarantee you when they do the updates to all the FAQs and all the cards and all that stuff, I guarantee you the next thing, especially I think when they come out with the whole ID intentional drawer issue, challenge, whatever, opportunity, whatever you want to call it, when they update their rules and facts and all that stuff, I guarantee you're probably seeing a gunk update, because a lot of people have been asking that same question. But for right now, for what I understand, especially in tournaments I've been playing at, gunk is not a double. You cannot do gunk twice in one thing. It's considered one action. You either put a shield on the card or you put a shield on your ship from the card. But it should be the other way, because the way it's written. That's to me like Han Solo. Like in Han Solo's pilot ability. Wait, let me pull it up exactly. Read word for word. That was I was so angry with that card, because to me, angry is a powerful word. I wasn't probably angry, but I was definitely like, WTF. Let me see here. So it says Han Solo on the card. It says when attacking, you may re-roll all of your dice. If you choose to do so, you may re-roll as many of your dice as possible. I don't understand. You may re-roll all of your dice. If you choose to do so, you may re-roll as many. You have to re-roll as many dice as possible. So to me, is it possible, like based on what my decision is? Like, can I re-roll 2 dice out of my 3 dice? That's what everybody says. It's a weak target lock, but I want to roll either all or nothing or some or whatever. The way I read it is I can choose, but that's what confuses me. So I understand they try to keep the game interesting and they make the different things, but they'll put a ruling out on it. Let's see here. I'm lost my spot. Okay, Mike O says, saw a new Han lately that I got to try. Title engine upgrade, push the limit. Kanan and Kyle, great action. Oh yeah, great action economy. Honestly, especially with the Heroes of the Resistance pack coming out, the expansion pack, I think you're gonna see a lot more Han action coming back. Like all the fat Hans, skinny Hans, somewhat kind of Hans, cheap man's Han, all the Hans. I think you're gonna see a lot of the Millennium Falcon coming back. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the new title upgrade that's coming out. It allows you to do pretty much an S loop with the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, but definitely great ad setups, great action with Kyle. I like that. Kyle says, Kyle M, I actually like using Morella Evil with HLC Gunner, Boss, Crew, and K-Force. I like the synergy with Boss and Gunner. I agree with you. I have a list that's just sitting there. It's in the back. It's like, I'm not sure what card I'm waiting for. I'm just like, Morella Evil is nasty, especially with his ability. With HLC, I agree with you 100%. Let me see if I can find that list. Because it was a nasty list. Let me see. It was, I think, Bosk, not Bosk as a crew for Morello. I had Bosk as its own pilot. Where'd I have it? Here it is. Found it. All right. It's called The Fortress. I got this off of there's a Fantasy Flight forums. There was a guy that had this, and he had like different setups for similar. And I've been playing around, but he's got Morello Evil right on the YV666 with HLC, Outlaw Tech, which basically after you execute a red maneuver, you may assign one focus token to your ship. Then he's got Gunner, Dangar. What? When attacking, you may re-roll one of your attack die. If it's vendors and unique pilot, you may instead re-roll 2 attack die. Now, and also anti-pursuit laser. Okay? So with Dangar's ability, yeah, and with HLC, even more yeah, you can, it's just pure nastiness. All right, and then with the native 3 attack dice, if the person's in range 1, you cover that range 1 gap of HLC. Dengar is it allows you to target lock, so you can focus all day long. Then you have Outlaw Tech, so after you execute a red maneuver, you may assign 1 focus token to your ship, so you can stall, get a focus token, run HLC with Dengar, which is pretty much a target lock, and Gunner. And Dengar, the best part about it is if Gunner doesn't hit. If the regular attack doesn't hit, you can run Gunner again and use Dengar again. It's even better. And then anti-pursuit lasers just in case if so many people bump me, because with the hounds, people like to bump. I also had Bosk with Wingman, and I'm still trying to figure out the setup, what to add to Bosk. But Bosk with Wingman, which is at the start of the combat phase, remove 1 stress token from another friendly ship at range 1. All right, so I was basically creating a fortress and pinning myself and keep bumping myself with the 2 ships, inch up, inch up, inch up. Now, FFG's a little bit on the fence with the whole fortress thing. They haven't ruled it either way, but there was a video on the whole fortress thing. But I think for a couple rounds or a couple turns, if you can do that, slow things up, create a fortress. You see a lot of people using jump masters and bumping each other. Like they have a Bosk ship with running Dengar or what have you, and they got a jump master contract and scout with regular U-boat with torpedoes, what have you. You would see them line up. The U-boat would go out 2 in front, barrel roll over. Bosk would do a 1 forward, bump him on purpose, like on the first round, and they bumped and they bumped, and then he stalls and he bumps again, or whatever the case would be. But he's stalling that ship's allowing the fight to come to him. And because typically there would be no asteroids or rocks in front of them, and then turning those beasts of ships around and doing what they do best and take down ships. But I was thinking the similar thing, but using Bosk and Morello and basically just bouncing them off each other and just using that big old heavy laser cannon, put them in the corner of the board or either right corner of the board, and there was no angle to get into. I mean, it was one little spot you could potentially get into, but you had to fly perfectly for, and you're banging, and you're shooting that HLC like it's nobody's business. That was my bang, but I love it. I'm so want to put Morale Evil, especially with HLC in a list. Just because heavy laser cannon outside the arc. Using the auxiliary firing arc. I think it's sexy. Plain and simple. I think it's great. I'm all about the red dice. For some reason, green dice don't. I never count on green dice. I want to get as much red dice, and with Dengar's ability, especially when you're flying against PAL bases and stuff, it's brutal. All right. Orion says, "This is what I need. Now I don't have to buy ships I don't need or want." You reference to the channel? Okay, understood. Dave says, to answer your Han question, if your opponent uses Sensor Jam and you cannot re-roll that die. Oh, okay. All right. Ken Horning, you can't re-roll dice that are juked or have been changed with Han. Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing too. That's why I think you don't see a lot of the original Han in a lot of lists anymore, because there's so many ships, so many abilities and ships that's blocking him. Mike, I think the Han ability is because you can only re-roll dice once, so you can Predator and use Han's ability if you wanted to be able to re-roll the dice from Predator. Ah, gotcha, wouldn't. Yep. Mike, yes, yep. Voice of the Force. I didn't think about that. Yep, okay. Dragon says, I like to run the G1A Starfighter with 4 Lom Zuckus in 2 different ships with their own build on each ship. I still have. The guy that won the Steel Open was running 2 contracted scouts and the G1A Starfighter, and and he took it. He did very well, but most of the action was on the 2 jump masters. But like I said, I just can't find love for that. Me personally, and again, Tractor Beam, great with the title card and this and that. But like I said, I just can't find love with that ship yet. And I think a lot of it is because I faced one in a tournament, and it went down like it was not even standing there in front of me. It went down very, very easily for me. I was throwing a lot of firepower at it. I was running the Baby Blues, and just throwing a lot of firepower at it. And I think anyway, it went down. Dragon says, I have to send the list. I've tested it many times, but it doesn't use the Mist Hunter title. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, send the list. Put it our SlingPaint.com. On top of our thing, there's a submit on our website. You can hit submit, and then on that page, you can submit a whole bunch of things to us. I think it's the top choice, which is the list donator. Submit it there. Absolutely. All right. Voice of the Force. Have you tried a Star Viper Swarm? Oh, I have. No, I have not tried one. But just like the Caraxi Fighter, I'm not sure if you saw the beginning of this session. And this video, guys, will all be saved up to YouTube automatically, and you can see the video. So it's actually the whole cool. So this whole session will be saved. All right. Have you tried Star Viper Swarm? Star Viper Swarm, 4 naked Black Sun Enforcers. How well do you think it would compare to your Baby Blues? I know I have a Star Viper list here. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Because I've just like the Caraxi. I like flying swarms. I'm a big swarm guy. Let's see if I can find it. I have all the lists from the Listinator, so it takes a while to find lists for us here, but I don't know what I named it, the list. Let me just pull up a Star Viper. The only thing with the Star Viper that I do like very much about, it's got the 2 speeds, 1 speed's all the way around. It's got the Segnor's loop, which I love. It's the same challenge that the Caraxi. Let me pull up a Caraxi Fighter. The same challenge that a Caraxi Fighter has, which is it's got the four hull and 1 shield, but I like the Black Sun because it's got the 1 speed maneuver, which is nice. The Caraxi Fighter does not. And that's why I also like my T-70s, because it's got the 1 speed maneuver. I also like the Black Sun because it's got the 3 defensive dice, so it does help you, but I usually never count on defensive dice. The only other negative that it does have is you can't fit anything else onto a Black Sun setup if you run 4 of those. But I've never ran them. But looking at the setup here, I've totally forgot that they have a barrel roll. They got boost, focus, target lock, and barrel roll. You got me thinking now because I don't know how many times I've always said when I was running my baby, I said, "Damn it! I wish I if the T70s had barrel roll instead of boost, I think I would have it'd be a different list altogether for me. I would love playing it a lot more than I love playing it already because I think just having a barrel roll on a T70 just makes sense. Boost is great, yeah, you can get up, but when I'm flying lower squadron pilots, I like to maneuver my ships to where my opponent doesn't think I'm gonna be able to go. Like boost, like they can anticipate that, right? With barrel roll, I can go either way. I can go back and forwards a little bit if I wanted to. I like that Star Viper. Interesting. I like that. Let me see here where I'm at. And Voice of the Force to answer your question, how it compare. It's the only thing is like they tried to fix the T70s by putting integrated astromech, so they're giving you a little bit more beef to the T70s. The problem is Star Viper I have not seen any love for from FMG. So until they come out with some kind of cost fix to help like kind of what they did with the T70, it's I think you get more points more bang for your buck point wise from a T70 than a Star Viper. But not me thinking with having the barrel roll. I've always said that I wanted the barrel roll, and it's got it doesn't have the 3 bank hard turn, but it's got the 2 Segnar loops, which actually changes up some things too, which is nice. I like that. Dragon says because I don't like the tractor beam either. I gotcha. Okay, all right. Yeah, send the list. Well, perfect. Mike P says, Is there an Imperial ship use the lightning reflex card? It says for small ships, only does for TIE. I've been lightning reflex. I haven't. Don't recall. Honestly, there's so many upgrade cards. I don't recall them all. But let me. Imperial. I need an elite. Is that an elite upgrade? Let's do Merrick. Lightning reflexes. After you execute a white or green maneuver on your dial, you may discard this card to rotate your ship 180 degrees, then receive 1 stress token after you check pilot stress. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, is there an Imperial ship using the Lightning Reflex card? It says for small ships only. Does tile fall? Yes. So to answer your question, Mike, all small base ships for Imperial, but it has to have the pilot skill. I'm sorry, the pilot has to have the elite upgrade. So if it has the EPT elite upgrade icon on the pilot card, then you can put lightning reflexes on it. But I'm looking at this right here, right now, my list builder. Like if you run some named pilots, like Commander Olsen on a TIE Advance or Zarek Strom, which is the new ships, Juno Eclipse, Darth Vader, any of them that have the elite upgrade, you can put lightning reflexes on that. That's actually pretty nasty because after you execute a white or green maneuver on your dial, you may discard this card to rotate your ship 180 degrees. Because if you think about it, you can do almost basically a K-turn, Segner's loop, not a Talon roll, but maybe a Segner's loop's K-turn on almost any maneuver. That's pretty wild. But you have to make sure that you can get that stress off as soon as possible. And if you can't, you're not able to run the push to the limit, so you're not going to double stress yourself. So you're only going to basically get 1 action. But it says then receives 1 stress token after the check pilot stress. After. So you can still do an action, right? Then receive 1 stress after the check pilot stress because you're doing the right green maneuver. You check the pilot stress, and then after you get a stress token, so you still get an action. Ooh, I like that. Huh. You're making me think. See, this is what I love. I love the community. You make me think about other things I can do and use. I like that. I'm going to put my note to myself. Lightning reflexes. Lightning reflexes. Look into, because I'm putting a crazy list together with like with the new Heroes of the Resistance packs coming up. I was thinking instead of the baby blues or something like that, I was thinking about maybe like you running Red Squadron vets, which is like a middle of the round. I think there are 4 or 5. I think they're 4 skill value, maybe 5. But they have the elite pilot thing, so I can get an elite. But instead of running 4 ships, I can run potentially 3 ships that got a little bit more armament, that can do a little bit more maneuvering. And lightning reflexes if I can do a white-green maneuver, which is pretty much most of the dial except for the Talon rolls and the K-turn, I can do some crazy maneuvering with that. I like that. Looking to for red squad vets. All right, let's take a look here. All right. ASOT Laddie Rats with tractor beam and weapons engineer. 2 G1s with either accuracy correctors. Yeah. Lats Ratty. That's I like. Nims runs Lats Ratty. He had not with tractor beam though. He was running Mangler cannon with him and stuff. But with weapons engineer, if you get the tractor beam, you get the hit off. With 2G1 accuracy correctors, because then you're lowering their agility. And in worst case, you take 2 hits. If you're lowering the agility with the tractor beam and you focus fire, it's like throwing 3 dice. Yeah, I like that. Let's see what else. Lightning. Quick question. On can you still use action when you use? Since you get yes, from what I understand, it's after the check pilot stress. So if you are not stressed, when you do the green maneuver, it goes you remove the stress after you executing maneuver. Before you check the pilot stress to see if you can do your action. Wait, hold on, let me think. I gotta look into that. I'm thinking. Let me look into that because I gotta see the steps. In the I think it's the FAQ guide under our on our site. I think it's the FAQ guide or the rules. They have the actual steps of execution listed, and I forget when you get your action, is it after the thing or not? I'm almost assuming it's not, but I gotta double check that. Spencer, anyway, back to work. Thanks for being awesome. Say hi to Nims for me. Will do, Spencer. Voice of the Force, I figured that Star Vipers would be as good. Your T-70s are super tanky, especially with the integrate. Yeah, that's what I built it for because I hate green dice. Green dice does not like me whatsoever. So I wanted to beef them up. Star Vipers are great, but I like that barrel roll because it allows me to maybe maneuver in a different position. But my T-70s, I purposely built them like that whole integrated R2 astromech, integrated astromech. They're tanks, and I fly basically 4 tanks in formation. And if you think about it, it's got 3 hull, 3 shield, plus with integrated astromech, which is potential crit blocker, shield, however you want to use it. That's 7 total hits. If you think the average ship is, and this comes with a math fund, this is what my thinking is. The average ship potentially slings out 2 hits, let's say, average per round, okay? And you're facing 3 ships most of the time. Out of those 3 ships, you're probably facing 2 that are potentially focus firing within arc right off the bat. If you're facing 2 ships, they're starting to that's 4 potential dice. So my thought pattern behind this, and if I get an evade and this and that, whatever the case may be, I can live maybe 2 rounds, 3 rounds with one of my ships being focus fired. And the cool part about it is usually the first ship that they're focus firing doesn't go down in the first round. I immediately use that ship as a blocker, block that so they can't shoot at it, and then they have to shoot at some more fresh T-70s. That's my thought pattern. But yeah, the Vipers to me, as soon as those shields go down and then you start dealing crits or whatever, that's when things start going wrong. That's what I like the art integrated astromech because it can block. I can look at the crit and say, do I want to block it or not? Look at the crit and say, like, okay, I don't want to block that one. Let me see what the next crit is. Okay, double damage. I'm gonna block that. Mike says that's what I was thinking. Voice of the Force, Tomix Brand. Yes, the new bomber pilot in the Imperial Vets can use really more than once. Ooh, very nice. Imagine putting lightning reflexes on the new time. You guys both said the same exact thing. I don't think you get the action after. I think you take the action after the check pilot stress step. Yeah, that's what I got to figure out. Because it's weird how they said it in the thing. So I don't know why they were specifying in the step. Well, I mean, just like you just. That's why I always like wondered. Like it's like the whole Han Solo thing. It's the whole Gong thing. I mean, be explicit. I mean, why like was there so many why we got to figure it out what it actually can do or cannot do? But it is what it is. Dragon says green dice hate me too. I had a TIE Phantom cloaked, and thanks to debris, I rolled 6 dice, but ended up getting all blanks both times. I was attacked. Yeah, definitely died after that attack. Oh, that's the thing is if you can. I usually like to run debris or rocks and I usually like to run debris for that very effect because it gives them the stress. If I'm running, giving the aces the stress, I'd rather have them the stress so they can't take their actions, so they can't boost, they can't barrel roll, they can't get arc dodge, and then I can shoot a whole lot of dice at them. And also, I played a Desi Whisper list in the tournament that I won, the store tournament that I won about a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was about a couple weeks ago. Yeah, about a couple weeks ago. I played. We both 2-2 record. We're coming into the third match. It was only 3 rounds. There was only a couple people there. I think 7 or 8 people. And I played the Despy Whisper list, and he ran through the debris with Whisper. He caught it, stressed out, couldn't cloak, and then I starred out. I broke formation and starred. I did a Talon roll with my 2 outs. I had 3 ships left. Talon rolled this way with 2 ships facing him, and just did a 1 down coming with my other ship. And he stressed going through that debris, and it was just done because I had 3 ships facing Whisper and couldn't take any actions, and it was lights out for Whisper. Oh, here we go. Kyle says steps the activation phase: reveal dial, execute maneuver, move ship, check pilot stress, clean up, perform action. So no. So if you're getting really, so there you go. So I'm thinking about this. If you're not stressed during the check pilot stress, and you take the stress afterwards. Sorry, Dragon. I thought it was the other way. I don't. That's why I never played Lightning Reflexes. I very rarely played that card. But it's weird that we say that in the card, right? I mean, that's just weird. All right. Let's see here. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I've been on the line. Wow, almost been an hour and 20 minutes. I think I'm gonna do this more often. I like this. It was actually pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I really enjoyed all the comments, the questions that you guys were asking. I learned a lot. It was great. I really appreciate you guys. Again, share our channel, like our channel, do all the fun stuff, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks, guys, for everything. Have a good one. All right, bye, guys, and thank you. If I can stop this thing. It's not letting me stop. I can't stop this. I'm hitting stop and it doesn't want to stop. Let's see. It's not letting me hang up. It's a sign to keep going. It's not letting me hang up. I'm hitting the stop button. It's not doing anything here. I don't get it. Stop. That's weird. Cancel. I'm hitting the big red button. I guess I keep going, right? Let me see if I can stop it another way. Or I could just do that. Yeah, good idea. All right, bye, guys. I'm just going to hard shut down. Thanks, voice. Let's see if I can do that.